Hey everybody, welcome back to Wicked Sports. This is At the Buzzer, and we're joined, as always, by Jack Tiernan. Jack, how you doing?
Ryan, we're good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. So, we're here to talk some basketball, mostly about the Celtics. It seems that everyone has suddenly become aware of what we've been preaching for the last few months. The Celtics are legit, but how legit are they, Jack? What are the chances that the Celtics get out of the East?
I mean, I let's start with a tale of two seasons so far,
Mm-hmm.
right? It really has been. Celtics were a 500 team through basically like Christmas, right? Like they were
Mm-hmm.
not, they were like very average, like probably towards, I think they were the 11th seed around then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, it might not be. Anyway, they were not good. They were not a good team. They weren't very cohesive. They weren't really committed to an identity.
Mm-hmm.
We had, the Celtics team that featured Dennis Schroeder as the sixth man feels
Mm-hmm.
like a team of many moons ago. Um,
It really does.
it's
Like,
like,
oh yeah, that
I was
was our
like,
team.
he played for us this year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wait a minute, that's really weird. Ennis Freedom, Bruno Fernando, Dennis Schroeder, all out the window. Um,
Ennis Freedom's not even in the league anymore.
no,
Like,
yeah.
he's most active on Twitter.
He
Um,
is. I don't know if or when we'll see him in the league again either. I feel like it might be a little bit of a blackball situation. I don't know.
yeah, we don't have to
But
get into all that, but yeah.
sure. Yeah, but anyway, basically half of that original team is, well, not half, but like a good chunk of that
Mm,
original team who expected to be like role players at least on a championship team
mm,
um, couldn't defend their way out of the paper bag.
right.
So basically what happened is Brad Stevens is like, thank GM Brad is, I said that Ime Udoka deserves a lot of credit, but who deserves even more credit is Brad Stevens actually pulling the trigger on some
Mm,
of these trades. Now that Ime is actually getting credit, potential Coach of the Year candidate, which we've been saying for the last couple of episodes,
mm,
um, you got to give Brad credit too. Potentially GM of the Year if the Celtics are able to turn it around, because now the Celtics have like the number one since January 1st, the
mm,
number one defensive net rating in the league by far, because they
mm,
committed to a play style. They figured out the switching scheme. Everything just kind of fell into place. And the addition of Derek White, oh, Josh Richardson. I miss Josh Richardson and Romeo Langford, actually.
mm,
Those are other two guys we traded, because I was going to say the addition of a defensive guard, Derek White, has really just like solidified the team's identity.
mm,
Well, he may not contribute as much on the offensive end. He contributes a lot on the defensive end, and you have everybody committed to that type of play style.
mm.
And I think that's why they've been so consistent and so deliberately able to attack the ball from that defensive end. It's so much fun to watch now. Such good basketball.
Yeah, no, I mean you're right. It's been a revelation the last few
Yeah.
months, and hey, Marcus Smart is right now the odds-on favorite according to Vegas to win Defensive Player of the Year. Um, I mean, this was a team that many people, if they talked about the Celtics at all, talked mostly about how are they gonna blow it up by trading, either of their stars or Marcus Smart,
Yeah.
and now it's really solidified in a way that we maybe haven't seen. I think Danny Ainge, obviously, he made some amazing moves. He got that 2008 team together. He put it
Hmm.
all together. The Celtics won a championship. Credit to him. But
Yeah.
it did feel like in the last few years, he kind of lost the killer instinct and did not
Agreed.
make the moves that a lot of Celtics fans wanted him to. And I guess that speaks to what you were saying now is that we're actually making moves, and that
Yeah.
had to have been like the biggest change with Brad Stevens, right?
I agree completely. I think obviously credit to Denny where it's due too. He did draft a couple guys like Rob Williams, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, for example. Um, all great players. Um, all who I mean Marcus Smart, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, right? Like he essentially drafted this team
Oh
basically.
yeah, no, of
Um,
course, yeah.
so all that credit to him there. But when it came to in-season or even off-season additions of trades, aside from Kyrie Irving, basically,
Mm,
there weren't really anything in recent memory. There was nothing really in the wings there that was like
mm,
coming in. Like we weren't getting anything big. Um, and it always felt like the team was like this close, right? And what's funny is it turns out that Marcus Smart, who is now our franchise point guard, has been here the whole time. and just was never afforded the opportunity to be the guy making those plays as well as
Mm-hmm.
being that defensive bulldog that we all know him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's I think Brad has instilled a bit of confidence in these players that he's willing to support them, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something that maybe they were lacking in the most recent years with Danny still as the GM.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great point. Like, you watch the Celtics play, and they play confident. They're making these amazing passes. They're taking shots that, like, there's just no hesitation. Like, they're a
No,
completely different looking team. They're so confident in the way they play, and it's a big contributing factor to why they've been so dominant. Um, However, the East is pretty stacked.
yeah, yeah, they are.
Like, say
I
nothing of the defending champs. They're maybe even like an afterthought at times of who's going to come out of the East. But
which is
yeah, can you
insane.
kind of break it down for us? What's happening right now?
Yeah, great call on that. I mean, in reality, those the top like five seeds are all like feasibly could all come out of the East. I
Mm-hmm.
think. You even have a couple in the bottom half there, and by a
The
couple, I
Nets
mean the
could,
Brooklyn Nets.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, the Nets could come out of the East. That's not an insane take at all.
it's not. I did see something. KD put on like a stupid amount of show, and he still lost to was it the Hornets? I don't know who it was, but it was like
Pelicans, maybe.
Pels. It was the Pels. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he
Um,
put up like 55 and they lost. Like,
and you're like, okay, like is that? I think that's what the play-in game's probably going to be. If I'm being honest with you, I think it'll probably be KD goes off and Kyrie's like also there. Um, has some flashy handles, but ends with like an 11, 2, and 4 stat line or something like
mm.
that. And you're like, okay, well, that was useless.
Well, hey, well,
Um,
we'll see. Will Ben Simmons be
yeah,
back by then? That'll be a question.
that's true. I know he was officially ruled out for the rest of the regular season.
Mm,
And I think the play-in game was up in the air. But I think right now, just looking at the records, that's probably the only shot they have.
mm,
Unless like Cleveland loses out and the Nets win out, basically. Like I think that's I actually know Cleveland's in the playing game too. Um, yeah, the next lowest seed has 45 wins and the Nets have 40. So it would be like essentially a huge power shift to have to swap there.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean the top of the East is dangerous. Because you've got the Miami Heat at 1, and they have very recently turned it on
They've been on
quite
a
a
tear
bit.
the last
Yeah,
like week and a half,
it's
including
absurd.
coming here and beating the Celtics. Like,
Yeah, that's what scares me, right? Is
mm,
if we have to play the Heat at some point. Right now we don't because we're 1 and 2. We're on opposite ends of the bracket. Um, but I know, thank God. Um, we'll have Rob Williams back by then, and we didn't have Rob when we played them. So I'm hoping that maybe he can be more of a defensive presence against Bam,
mm,
because Bam is a monster.
mm,
But like as the bracket is shaped right now, we play the winner of Atlanta and Cleveland in the first round, um, which is that playing game.
mm.
Um, and then it's I think either Milwaukee or Toronto, and I feel like we could definitely beat Toronto because they're the 6th seed, obviously, and then Milwaukee, obviously, you just have to deal with Giannis and Chris Middleton, who seems to always light the Celtics up. So,
Mm. Yeah, that's a great point too. Like, it's gonna be seeding. We talked a few weeks ago.
yeah,
Like, someone is probably going to have to play the Nets, and they're the 1 seed. They're gonna have that sucks. That's a bad
right.
draw.
That's just you're right. That's bad luck. Like it's unfortunate because Kyrie was that part-time player
Mm,
basically for half the season, and now he's back, and suddenly they're like a little bit better than they were before.
mm.
Um, and you have is as much as we give him crap, right? Like if Ben Simmons comes back, he's going to be a problem as well. Like a
I think
point
so.
forward.
Yeah.
He's essentially LeBron without the jump shot. When it
Right.
comes to that, that's a really hot take. But he he can drive to the basket. He
After
can
the off
facilitate.
season he's had, he's gonna take that and frame it on his
He
wall.
should.
It's like,
Yeah,
finally
he should.
somebody gave me credit for
LeBron
something.
without a jump shot, like just in like Comic Sans, just
Take
throw it
it.
above the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it at this point. Um, Especially if he's ever listened to any of our videos, which obviously we know Ben Simmons is one of our biggest fans, one of our biggest
Yep.
subscribers.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I think the East is really up for grabs. I think it probably will be one of those top 4 or 5 seeds. I want to
Mm.
include the Bulls, but they've been kind of on a free fall.
I know. What
Um,
happened?
I don't know, man. I think I wonder if it has something. I am a big Lonzo Ball stan, so I wonder if it has something to do with the lack of facilitating on his part, um, and not being back. I think if he's not back now, he'll be back soon. I haven't checked recently, but I know that Lonzo is like a big part of that offense.
Mhm.
Um, and that helps. His 3-point shooting was off the charts earlier this year. He was able to facilitate to guys,
Mhm.
and now like without that and like having to use probably like Kobe White for the most part as your guard, it's like okay, like it's not the same. Lonzo is an elite facilitator,
Right.
um, but I don't know. I don't think the Philly I don't think looks as good with Harden. Harden is
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
I don't know.
he's good. Although it's come out like lately that Kyrie was telling Harden to his face that he's washed during practices. So not,
I saw that.
yeah.
I
So
think
Stephen A.
I think
Smith
that
said
was
that, but
I heard Stephen A. Smith said that, but I believe that was actually from a Ballsack Sports report on Twitter.
okay, all right. So
So,
we got ball sacked,
so we
everybody.
got ball sacked,
Yeah.
but more importantly, Stephen A. got ball sacked,
Mm.
which is even funnier. I don't care if that report is fake or not. I'm going to believe in it because
It's so
it's
funny that you just want it to be real.
yeah, 100%. Like I'm not even I acknowledge it as fake, but I don't care. Like it's real to me. Like
It's real.
it's fine.
It's
Two dudes that I
canon.
don't like. Yeah, it's canon. It's canon. This is part of the main story arc here.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I think the East is much more. I don't know. It's more of a traffic jam at the top
Mm.
than the West for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The
Oh,
playoffs are gonna be
100%.
so good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, we're hoping, you know, Robert Williams comes back and the Celtics play
True.
to their potential. So we'll see what happens. Jack, anything else you want to touch on before we get on out of here?
Definitely. No, man. I will say it's really satisfying that the Lakers potentially have a chance to be out of the playoff contention tonight. I believe tonight being
Yes.
Tuesday night. So there's opportunity for that, which is exciting just for me from like a I don't know from a legacy perspective from
Mm.
LeBron. That's satisfying.
Yeah, it's gonna pretty much come down to, is LeBron gonna score 50 points, and
Yeah,
if not, the Lakers are probably gonna lose because
probably. Yeah,
they suck. If LeBron doesn't score 50,
they're not good.
um,
Yeah,
tough scene after everything. After opening the retirement home, who could have seen this coming?
yeah. I mean, definitely not us, right? We
No,
definitely didn't
I
predict this
didn't
at the
call
beginning of this
this.
season.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
from the word go. So, hey, LeBron, I hope that you get that scored title sooner than later, and maybe stop trying to play GM because it worked really badly.
Yeah, especially this time. Just go play out another season in LA and then go play with your son wherever he goes and just call
I
it a day.
know that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
probably gonna happen. You know.
yeah, which is
And,
wild. So,
mm,
I mean, good for you on that front and good for you on all of everything else you do, but like, just don't be a GM anymore.
no.
Or do it just without you on the team because have to be your focal point. Unfortunately, like that's it.
Yeah. Hey, just another thing that Mike and LeBron have in common: they cannot assemble a team that can win to save their lives.
Very sad. Very true. Very true. Very sad.
Oh man. All right, Jack. Where can they find you online?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's at Jack_Tiernan. Another place you can find me is all my disc golf content. I'm a professional amateur, yeah, disc golfer, and that's at Jack Disc Golfs on Instagram. Posting a lot of disc golf content. Definitely give me a follow on both those spots.
Yes, follow him there. You can follow me on Twitter at @theFakeBMar. That's BMARR. Channel is on Twitter at Wicked Good Sport or WG Everything. Instagram Wicked Good Everything. Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Everything. And on TikTok, search Wicked Sports. Search Wicked Everything. Jack, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Brian, as always.
And we'll see you all in the next one.